Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers, sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to the LO3 podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful land of enchantment. And today's date is Monday, April 20th, 2020. Yeah, I know I said beautiful swampy mango South Florida at the last episode, but I do apologize for the typo. I'm just going to mainly talk on one subject here, so it'll be really brief. Some of the lessons we got to learn on this whole pandemic, scamdemic, plandemic, wherever what your intake is. One of the questions we always got to say on this matter, Cui bono, that means who benefits in Latin. Follow the money? Absolutely. Have us control, live in fear? Can this be a teaser? Yes, it is. And you know, folks, they're just relying on that $1,200 check and plus unemployment. That can be the road to peasantry. Individuals, doesn't matter what your views are, cannot, never, ever leave all your eggs in one basket. You can't blame capitalism for what happened. It's statism. Some people believe COVID-19 exists. Some say it's a bioweapon. Others still buy the bat story. And many others said it's a deception. And I'm not going to here crucify anyone, what their intake is. We got to look at things in a more broader picture. Like I said before in my past shows, when it comes to government control on our lives, that can be a deception. And that's why liberty-minded people are real critical about this. And I always say, people, to everyone out there, you have to be vigilant in this matter, including your health. Man, the areas that have like this compact, heavy populated communities, many of them have folks with compromised immune systems, and that gets taken advantage of. We don't know how accurate the testing is, too. That's been questioned as well. So we always have to observe responsibly in this matter. If you're going to blame one person for this ordeal, then you're a lost cause. It's a lot bigger than what it is. And I think the states, like I said before in my past episode about states' rights are coming. Making a comeback? Yeah, it's always been, it's got to be more enacted, more activated, in my personal view. So, and of course, you got folks that are preppers, others thought it could never happen. Well, Bob Livingston did a article on this. That's the only thing I'm going to be addressing. It says here, no, we are not all in this together. And as I read here, a common phrase I've heard lately, all around the internet as well as all around the area I live, whenever the pandemic situation is broached, is what we are all in this together, and we will get through this together. The sentiment is repeated by a religious mantra, and I believe it is rooted in a collectivist reaction in the minds of many. The idea is that if we all comfort each other by repeating the lie that we're all in the same boat, and if everyone believes it, then the threat of the outbreak, along with the economic collapse, will somehow simply disappear. The notion we are going to get through this together seems to be based on the assumption that the crisis is going to move quickly, and if we hold tight, our sacrifice will be minimal and we'll go back to the way things were before. This is simply not so. I highly respect the idea of giving people hope to others while keeping none for yourself. However, hope has come from a legitimate place. It is based on some reality. There are too many lies driving public psychology right now to give concrete hope to anyone. The lies have to end and the facts have to hit people hard before we can then come to an understanding of what we have to do to survive this event. In the meantime, the majority of people are going to be trapped in fantasyland, hypnotized by delusions and magical cures and economic silver bullets. On top of all that, the American public has never been more divided than it is right now. Sure, we can soak in the bathtub of brain-dead dreams with the latest celebrities like Madonna telling us that the virus makes us all equal. But does it really? I'm sorry, but the truth that not all people are equal is about to become more apparent than ever before. The pandemic, along with the economic collapse, is going to separate people into clearly definable categories. Many of these groups will be in direct conflict with each other. The prepared. These are people that saw this event coming ahead of time and spent many months, if not many years, stocking supplies and training to survive it. The prepared were smarter and had more insight into the reality of the situation than most people. If we are to apply the evolutionary standards, then the prepared would be at the top of the food chain, the alpha species. But let's not let this go to our heads. There are many downsides of being a member of the prepared. In the just world, the masses would be going to the prepared for answers to the crisis, and some do. But overall, I think the prepared will be more hated for their predictive capabilities than admired. This is why prepared people have to stick together, organize, and protect one another, because a day is coming when they will be targeted by the unprepared as enemies of the collective. There's some good points, and I do network with people. I'm prepping up, and others I want to learn, I teach. So out of fairness, because I like to see people try to be self-contained as possible and help those that help themselves. And I will continue on here. Of course, there are a few exceptions, the elderly and the sick. I'm not gonna, say they're bad folks. That would be absurd. The unprepared are not all alike. These people who are arrogant and ignore all evidence of collapse presented to them ahead of time, and now they're going to suffer for that. These are people I call grasshoppers, as in the fable of the ant and the grasshopper. They dance and play all summer and laugh at all warnings of impending winter. These are the people who will act indignant and vicious when they are deprived of comfort, and they will demand that the ants give up their preps to save them, which is not going to happen. There are other people who are merely obvious to the situation and are mostly innocent in their lack of preparation. They just weren't exposed to the available information for whatever reason. They live decent, hard-working lives, and they are mostly innocent in all of this. They too will be faced with hard decisions in the near future. Some of them will try to prepare as best while the crisis is still in the early stages. Others will join the grasshoppers out of fear and demand a draconian government response. The independents are people that will seek to solve the problems surrounding the crisis with their own ingenuity. They won't demand help from government, nor will they demand other people share their resources with them of a sense of entitlement. They will ask for help where needed, but they will try to do the best they can endure the crisis without trying to force others to make things easier for them. The independents will understand the difference between collectivism and voluntary organization. The first strategy requires force and fear. The second strategy does not. The collectivists will try to interfere or even destroy the independents because they are successful at organizing voluntarily and becoming prosperous through free market innovation that will prove that the collectivist ideology is unnecessary and outdated. The collectivists would rather win than be right in their thinking. The collectivist people will applaud the vast expansion of government power and control because within their cult religion, government is God. To them, the pandemic is not a curse but a blessing because it gives them a rationale to take part in a grand subjugation of other people and feel the power they have always wanted to feel. These are people with inherited narcissistic and sociopathic traits within our culture. They represent only 1 to 5% of the total population, but they are predatory and they're single-minded in their goal to control others and feed off the world like parasites. These people are not always elites. In fact, most of them are just like you and me in terms of status and income. But they do tend to work together in groups as long as there is a mutual gain to be had. And they have all character qualities of global elites, including complete lack of empathy, a penchant for self-worship and idealization, zero belief in anything greater than themselves, a propensity towards deceit and violence to get what they want, and using disasters to their advantage. Kio bono, who benefits, right? The sheeple. Sheeple are people that have no capacity for self-leadership. They will follow whoever they think has the best chance of securing their survival, even those people have evil intentions. Sheeple are not necessarily nefarious-minded. They just don't care about the bigger picture, and they only see what is right in front of them. This is a different mindset from those that look for leadership in people that display integrity, experience, and competence. Sheeple don't care about any of that. They just want to feel protected and secure no matter what, even if they have to sacrifice their freedoms in exchange for that feeling. They are prime target for the collectivists. Trying to talk sense to sheeple is almost impossible. They will not listen. You probably know a few sheeple in your life who even now, in the midst of a global collapse, still think the crisis will be over in a matter of weeks and that the government will save them. Attempting to convince them otherwise is a waste of time. All you can do is provide a better solution than the collectivists and hope the sheeple follow you instead of the evil empire when the crash hits hardest. Irreconcilable differences. These different types of people are mostly at odds with each other. There is no we, there is no us, and there is no getting through this together. I will say that the vast majority of people do have a conscience, unlike the globalists that created this calamity in the first place. But that does not mean we will end up on the same team. The dark magic of chaos is that it can be used to convince otherwise good people to support horrifying tyranny in the name of the greater good. Beware anyone promoting the notion that we are all in this together. This is a gateway to collectivism, and it's a blatant lie. There are establishment elites that plan to gain from this event, while the rest of us suffer. They are not on our side or on our boat. They will use the pandemic and a simultaneous economic collapse, which they have engineered to maneuver the public into abandoning their freedoms in the name of collective safety. These are also useful idiots and narcopaths out there that thrive in these types of unstable environments. They too are vampires seeking to bleed people dry while using the disaster as cover. These are the people screaming at strangers walking down the street and they need to go back home and flatten the curve. These are the people calling the cops on their neighbors for talking into a bigger than 2 or 3. These are the local government officials calling for bans on church services even when they are held outside and the following guidelines of social distancing. These are the people calling preppers hoarders and demanding that their supplies be redistributed. These are the people that revel in authoritarianism. Understand that are many sides to this conflict, and very few of them are honorable. Listen to your conscience, listen to the evidence, truth, and reason, and choose your side wisely. Nay, he's absolutely correct. That's why in these times, you always want to choose the right people if you're going to be a team player. Your strengths and flaws. What this person's good at, what you're not, and vice versa. Then you can prosper together. And of course, you got the snitches that do that. Ask him this. Where's your I love Fidel Castro, Benito Mussolini, Mao Tse-tung, or Adolf Hitler buttons? That's what I'll be doing. Call these people out. They deserve to be ridiculed. Because they got the sweet pie purebred syndrome. I know I said that before in my past episodes. But the fact is, they live in underdog world. Watch the cartoon, you understand where I'm coming from. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So it looks like some places going to be, quote unquote, reopen. Others going to stay strict restrictions for another month. And I always tell folks this. What are you going to do to make it better for yourself and your family? Even around these times of crisis. And always how accurate, how authentic is the information. That's how you got to look at it. This is why I hear all sides and I always look at the bigger picture. Yes, I do support liberty, which it means freedom plus, which is equal to freedom plus morality. So here's the thing. If folks haven't learned from this, then you be the fools. The wise ones will do their best to survive. So positive inspiration is good. Get those energies of conscience enhanced. And trust me, it won't be perfect, but you can succeed and spiritually prosper. And that is it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us right social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence with decorum. Furthermore, I'll just leave the footnote of this article on my Spreaker page. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.